So Steph, congratulations to you and your clients on getting that house in Frisco under contract.
Oh, stunning new construction that we will show you guys later. But the reason we talk about these clients is because they are from Texas. And you may not realize, but I am from Texas too, and it got us thinking. I wanted to share with you guys why I chose Colorado and what that's looked like for me and my family.
My name is Lisa Gibson, and this is Stephanie Ernst, and we are realtors here in Breckenridge and all the way down through the Vail Valley. And we shoot videos every single week talking about real estate and the lifestyles here. So please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.
So what a cool place to be from. Tons of people moving up here from Texas. So Steph, where exactly are you from in Texas?
Well, at this point, I have roots a little bit of everywhere across the state, but I grew up in Houston. I went to school at, well, I'm dating myself a little, Lisa, at Southwest Texas State, is now known as Texas State.
Okay, all right. You're not that old either way.
Yeah, Weston grew up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he went to Texas A&M. Gigamaggies.
Weston being your husband.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And his family also has a large ranch that has been in the family for generations that's out near Fredericksburg in the hill country. And then we still have family in San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Austin. Pick a place.
So that's home for you.
It is home. That is where I go for holidays and
okay.
What I consider home.
I like now that your home is Breckenridge, so I'm glad to have you here, but nice to know where your roots are. So a lot of my Texas clients do just buy for the summer. They have summer homes here to escape all that heat, right? But I know you also had, came up a lot skiing, right?
Yeah, yes, the summer is real. It is real. If you are in Houston, you have the heat and the humidity. Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, maybe hotter, but a little less humidity. It's just suffocating. So folks definitely want to escape that for a handful of weeks. But I did grow up where our youth groups were coming up, families were coming up for a week or two over spring break, the holidays. So really year round, I felt like myself and friends were making the trek to Colorado.
That sounds amazing. But like you said, I do feel like if you have the means, you're going to want to get out of there at some point in the summer, right?
You do. So we talked about the heat. We talked about the humidity. Definitely don't have to worry about hurricanes here. So growing up in Houston, that was a bigger thing than maybe some folks that are in Dallas and such, but that was real. And on the flip side, some of you may ask, and I've gotten this question before, how have you adjusted to winter? And our winters are long. There's no hiding that. But I think a couple of things have surprised me. Is that it doesn't feel as cold for the most part as you would think it would.
We have so much sun,
we
right?
Do.
I mean, the sun comes out, and even if it's the middle of winter, it can be gorgeous, and you can sit out on your deck some days in the middle of winter if the sun is just blasting out of the wind.
But it's not that damp, moist cold, so it just
doesn't
get into you as much. But with that, I did have to buy proper winter clothing. I bought an entire new wardrobe, and it makes me sad that I just don't get to wear all my shorts and tanks and all those things I used to wear because our summers are short.
We do have a very short summer.
Yes, but the key really, great shoes and a beanie or two. I treat myself to 1 or 2 new beanies every year. I have quite the collection now, but if my head's warm, I'm doing pretty well.
And you did mention you have a friend who moved here from Florida, right? And I mean, so this is real for folks who move here from Florida, Oklahoma, California, those other hot places. You might actually have to go out and just buy your first real puffy jacket, right? I mean,
yep. And it is unfortunate, but you need to get a quality one. It really makes a difference.
Absolutely.
And if you're coming up for ski season, I live here, and like I said, I get cold, but I do have heated socks. I have heated mittens.
I love that.
They make
It makes a
heated-
huge difference.
It does. They have
Yeah.
heated vests.
Yeah. Steph and I run cold, so I'm often found with hand warmers as well.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, I don't know, maybe TMI or not, but when it gets cold, on those really, really cold days with the snow is spectacular, I will put a hand warmer in my sports bra, and then every chair lift.
Absolutely. I do that too. I do that too. Yeah, no, that helps.
Of course. So
Uh-huh.
there you go.
That is not TMI. That's a good tip.
That is a good tip. So from one Texan who is now in Colorado, who runs cold, but it hasn't bothered me.
Okay, so tell me, what is one of the things that you just love about living here and that made you move here?
There's a lot of things, Lisa.
Uh-huh.
But this is kind of overarching, but the lifestyle.
Okay.
I love the active lifestyle and how that is embraced here and encouraged to get outside, whether that's the kids at school or us as adults, just being outside.
Everyone's very like-minded in that
Yes.
regard, right? Adults are riding their bikes to work and just out jogging and doing things. And the kiddos too. A lot of the school schedules are even planned around the kids' sports, right? And being able to get them outdoors for their sports.
I remember I was blown away when my youngest was in 5th grade here at Breck Elementary, and it was the second to last day of school, and they asked for parent volunteers for a walking field trip, and I was like, well, I'm in. And
Nice.
The last 2 days of school, I had grown up, and I used to teach back in a prior lifetime. A lot of times the kids were just stuck in front of movies or the TV or busy work while the teachers wrapped up stuff for the year.
Okay.
And instead, we walked across to the ski resort into National Forest. The kids were given those downed trees, the far side of the creek, this and that were the boundaries. And for 3 hours, just played. Kids were damming up the creek.
Wow.
Kids were literally crawling. This one kid went, his outfit was no longer the same color. Kids were building teepees with the down logs. And then everyone was playing capture the flag. And that was just a moment of, that is really what the community is about here.
That's
and I love that. And personally, my hobbies have changed. So I did a lot of, I played soccer growing up, triathlons, marathons, those kinds of things. And I just don't do those anymore because I'd much rather be out on the mountain or be Nordic skiing or be trail running, be mountain biking, be rock climbing.
And you can do that
hiking
with your
mountains.
friends. You don't have to go out and train alone for some one event, right? You can. It's just part of your daily
It's a general
life.
lifestyle. And I think I enjoyed those things, and that was a different chapter of my life. But I really did them because for my mental health, I need to be outside.
Right.
And that was an excuse for me to be outside before I lived here with all the incredible things to do. So I would say one of the biggest things, Lisa, is just the lifestyle and how that intertwines and affects everything here.
So hold the phone. We are not done yet, but if you are enjoying this video and if you know of someone or yourself who might be looking to buy a home here and is in need of some amazing realtors, please share this video.
That's our shameless plug.
So talk to me about the house you're building here and how is real estate different here in Colorado versus Texas?
There's a lot of differences.
What are a top few that stand out to you?
Yeah, okay, well, there's no AC.
That's a real thing.
It is a real thing. And it's not really needed. So if you do buy a home in Vail or in the Vail Valley, some newer construction there does have AC, but still not a whole lot.
No.
If you're in Summit County, so Breckenridge, Keystone, Frisco, Silverthorne, really no one has AC. We're building a brand new custom home. Definitely did not put in AC.
It is hard to show properties though to Texans and try to explain to them that you don't need it and that you should just open a window if you get hot. But that is our reality. So
It is, yes.
yeah, but you can always add a little
The mini splits. If you are really sensitive to the heat and maybe you're in Silverthorne, a little bit lower, you might want to add a mini split to the primary bedroom. But very few folks do that. So AC was a lack of AC was a big difference. And with that, our utility seasons are just the opposite. So in Texas, your peak utility, your high utilities are summer. here,
Good
they're
point.
winter because that's when we're heating the house. And
It's a good point.
use a lot of heat.
And everybody tells me, everyone that comes here shopping for a home is just blown away by the low property taxes.
And that is the truth. Texas has insane property taxes. Now there's no income tax, but property taxes are kind of used to offset that. So just know when you buy a home here, whether you're a second homeowner or a primary residence, there are no tax breaks if you're a primary residence. So they're the same across the board if you buy a home here, but they're very, very reasonable. And all my Texas clients are always so excited and usually question if the number is right on the paper that I give them with all the fees. So property taxes are huge. And another one, and this just kind of silly, but having grown up in Houston in the suburbs, the big, tall, 6-foot wooden privacy fences. That was what I was accustomed to. And here we don't have fences. Obviously, we have condo living for a lot of folks. If you have a home, you want to see the woods. You want to be in the woods. Then it's also about our wildlife. We want the moose, we want the bears, we want them to be able to wander around and not get entangled and stuck in those things. And why would you want a fence? You don't want to block anything you can see from the windows.
There are a few folks that have fences for their dogs. But yeah, that's about it,
it's more the white picket fence when you're in town.
Exactly.
Privacy fence.
That's right.
So those are a few of the things that jump to my mind. Firstly, so when you ask about some of the differences with real estate, so definitely lack of AC, taxes, and then just the privacy fence thing.
And we will do another video down the road here and talk more specifically about building a new home here and what goes into that too. So stay tuned for that video as well.
I can share some great things and some challenges as well.
Right. That'll be in another video, so stay tuned for that one as well. So we do get the fact that a lot of folks aren't exactly relocating here full-time and they're just buying a second home, right? But for those who might be considering staying, talk to me about the schools and what has it been like raising 3 boys here?
Well, parenting has definitely been different and I have loved it. I felt like my kids were raised with more freedoms than I had as a child.
Wow.
And they've had to earn those freedoms and be responsible with them. But the pride and accomplishment in that and the opportunities they have to be social, it's very different. We intentionally bought a home or a building and live near a bus stop. So there are free buses that run all through the counties, both in Breck, Summit County, and over in the Vail Valley. A great way to get around. It's incredibly safe. They are free. And really, once my kids turned 10, we allowed them to start riding the buses. Now, there were different parameters on it, but I love that my kids can not just get to other friends' houses. I'm not opposed to driving my kids' places.
But it gives them that sense of freedom.
And if we are both working, or let's say it's an incredible powder day and Weston and I want to get first chair and the teenagers want to sleep in. There was a day last year that Weston and we had taken the bus down to the mountain and we actually took the bus home and got off when our kids were getting on. And so I love that I'm not having to yell at the kids in the morning like, oh my gosh, we're gonna miss first chair, let's get going.
Right, that is an important consideration here in the mountains.
You know,
let's be real.
You get down and you get into town and someone's forgotten their left glove or boot or something. It happens, right? If you've ever done it. One of my kids loves to fly fish. And so it's funny, he'll start usually in Breck and by the end of the day, I have no idea where he is fly fishing. Sometimes he's in Dillon on the other side of the dam or Silverthorne. He just kind of chases the fish wherever they may be that day. And I love that because he's 13, he can't drive, but he has those freedoms. So the freedoms,
but just safe overall, right? I mean, I raised a daughter here and I could not have picked a better place. And again, I have some clients who bought a house in Vail and they're using it part-time, but they're liking it more and more. So they're asking about the schools. Hey, what if we wanted to spend more time here or move here full-time? And again, between Vail Mountain School, Vail Ski and Snowboard Academy, and all the great schools here in Summit County, there's public and private in both areas, so lots of opportunities for.
And with that, a lot of us, our kids are involved in so many things. And what I've loved about living here is that my kids have the opportunities, all the opportunities they had in Texas, plus more. So if you're looking for those more traditional sports, so football, soccer, baseball, basketball, volleyball, or band and the arts, things like that, those are all still opportunities that the kids have here. And to play in college and do all those things, do know that you might end up driving to Denver and there might be a little bit more driving involved. But having been a student athlete in Houston, I felt like I drove all over the place anyways. They can be on the Nordic ski team. They can be on the Skimo ski team. You may not even know what that is. They can be on the Alpine, the snowboarding. And our schools, if your child chooses to become really competitive, you have the coaching and opportunity to be on the US ski team, to go to the Olympics, those things. People come here from around the world to train. So our schools are set up for early dismissal for our student athletes.
That's a big deal.
Are trying to go to that next level.
That's right.
So mountain biking, I was in Fruta this summer. My son is on the high school mountain bike team. There's just so many great opportunities, but still the traditional ones. So as a parent, I love that I can present more options to them.
That's neat. And some of the kids on the track team, right? They are out running these mountain peaks. And again, the mountain bike team. So there are teams where they are just out in the wilderness and on the mountaintops. And that is so cool.
And it is fun. And I love that at 16, the kids are like, hey, I'm going to go backpacking and go camping and do these fun things. So my son, one of my kiddos actually this coming weekend, his class is going backpacking. So he's going to be gone for 3 nights.
Neat.
And it's a first aid or wilderness survival class.
Cool.
And so they're kind of putting all of it to the test. But
like you said, lifestyle, right? That is very common, part of our everyday life. And again, why you moved here.
Exactly. And you talk about some of those electives for the students. We have all the traditional electives at school, but they also have bike tech, ski tech.
Right.
And they're through the community college. So you can get those dual credit hours, but you also get the certifications to work in our ski shops, to be a bike tech. And that's just really neat that all of that is part of it. But to change gears, I would say there's one negative, one really big negative.
Okay, what is it?
Kids here. And that is teaching them to drive.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Scary.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. Oh, you gonna take our call? So we have the winter, the snow. It's really scary.
But they learn. They figure it out.
It's
just terrifying as the parent sitting in the passenger seat, right?
Yes. And I know Braden, he turns 16 in November. What a horrible month to turn 16, to get your license right as the snowstorm starts.
That's when my daughter turned 16, November 14th. Yeah.
It's not ideal. And, so there's the snow, there's the passes, and I love everyone from Texas, obviously. I am from there too, but a lot of our visitors don't know how to drive in the snow as well. So it adds that challenge of teaching our kiddos how to properly do a roundabout, or to look in your rearview mirror and be like, hey, it's red license plates or California plates. So a tip for
our Texas friends, and we love you, but rent a 4-wheel drive when you come out.
Please.
So
please. But it's funny, the things we teach our kids, look for the red license plates, that's a rental car, or look for Florida or California plates, because those are cheaper for the rental company fleets, however they register them. So you kind of start to learn to look in oh my gosh, it's a red plate, we might run this this stop sign so we don't get rear-ended. But those
funny.
That has been the biggest challenge for me. And part of that is we did build our home up high. And so our kids have to come down a windy, steep road that on a regular basis, folks end up out in the meadow because they don't make the turn. So, I think overall, raising my kids here has been absolutely incredible. I wouldn't change it. I love everything about it, except for driving.
So thanks for sticking with us. This has been a lot of fun. For all you folks who are considering buying a home here, from Texas. Steph, there is one thing that stands out to me is the shopping cart story. That was hilarious.
Well, I mean, shopping in general just felt overwhelming when I moved here.
Well, it is.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you don't want to go on a Saturday or Sunday when all the short-term rentals are turning over. I learned that very quickly. But it was also like, what shoes do I wear? I can't wear flip-flops or chacos, and I don't want to wear running shoes because the snow just gets in. But, oh my goodness, I went shopping, had a full cart, and it was snowing. There were like 4 inches of snow on the ground. The parking lot had not been plowed. I could not get the shopping cart to move.
That's a challenge, right? You're like,
I was like fully
oh my
laid
God.
out. I couldn't get it to move. And
That's a challenge.
I realized, I was like, you know what? It's easier to pull the shopping cart.
Oh, good one.
So pulling the shopping cart worked out. But that was one of
hilarious.
those moments that, yeah, just sticks with me. Another one is I remember asking folks, what are all the sticks on the fire hydrants? I don't understand.
It's funny.
And
I didn't even notice those because I just
they've always been there.
However,
we want our fabulous fire department to find the fire hydrants
when there's 6 feet
needed.
of snow out.
So
Yeah.
the sticks on top are to mark those, but also here, at least in the town of Breck, you can adopt a fire hydrant and you post it on their Facebook page, and they actually give little awards and stuff. And when you adopt a fire hydrant, you go and you shovel it out after the big snows because
Keep it available, yeah.
keeping it accessible. So there's 2 things. Can you find it? And is it accessible? Because no one wants to spend
Big deal.
5 minutes digging it out when you need it. Otherwise, I think just really the clothes, right? Like having beanies. This sounds silly. I wear my hair longer than I used to.
Okay.
Because I like to braid it underneath my beanies and my ski helmet. So
you can just take it out and jump on into work or go show property, right?
Right. But,
Yeah.
So silly things like that. But yeah, there have been some funny moments as I have adjusted, but they've all been wonderful. And I love living here, Lisa, and couldn't imagine living anywhere else. And whether it's full-time or part-time.
We do know too, the side note, sometimes I hear this from my Texas friends and clients. They say, gosh, sometimes we feel like people just don't like us up here. And it's like, so not true, right? I mean, I've always appreciated the fact that we, tourists pay our bills, right? And we are in a tourist community. So I have never,
There are a few grumpy people. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. But it's good to know that our team has a true Texan here, and we are both ready to help anyone, especially our Texas friends, but anyone, when you're looking to buy a home here. And we're so excited to meet you guys and help you find a home here.
So be sure to pick up the phone, give Lisa and I a call. We would love to answer any questions you have about real estate, lifestyle, the changes, the differences here in these mountain towns. We'll hear from you soon.